Hello friends, today I am going to talk with the concept strategic management. Myself, Dr. R.C. Nagaraju, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Government First Grade College and PG Center, Davangere. Here we have with two terms, one is strategy, another one is management. We should know the term management. Management is an art of getting things done through the people with effective utilization of available resources. Here, effective utilization means men, money, material, machines, methods. And another term is strategy. The concept strategy in business has been borrowed from military and sports. ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಟರ್ಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಅಂದರೆ ತಂತ್ರ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಟರ್ಮನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮಿಲಿಟ್ರಿ ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಳಸಿದಂಥ ತಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ವ್ಯಾವಹಾರಿಕವಾಗಿ ಬಳಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಗ್ರೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್ for a successful organization is change. So this threatening change may be either internal or external. The term strategy began to be used in business with the increase in competition and complexity of business operation. And the strategy is an administrative course of action designed to achieve success in the face of difficulties. And the strategy is a plan for meeting challenges posed by the activities of competitors and environmental factors. Suppose ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲನ್ನು ಕೊಡೋದಾದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರತಿಸ್ಪರ್ಧಿ ತನ್ನ ವಸ್ತುಗಳ ಬೆಲೆಯನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ತಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುಗಳ ಮಾರಾಟವನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದೇ ಒಂದು ತಂತ್ರ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ದೂರವಾಣಿಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಅಥವಾ ದೂರದರ್ಶನಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಅಥವಾ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ನಮ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುಗಳ ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಸರಕುಗಳ ಬೆಲೆಯ ಗುಣಮಟ್ಟ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುಗಳ ಬೆಲೆ ಇವುಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಗ್ರಾಹಕರಿಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸಿಕೊಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ತಂತ್ರವೇ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೌ ದ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಕಾಂಪೀಟ್. It is the determination of evaluation of alternative availables to an organization in achieving its objectives and missions, and the selection of appropriate alternatives to be pursued. And it is the fundamental pattern of present and planned objectives, resources, deployments, and interaction of firms with market, competitors, and other environmental factors. A good strategy should specify what is to be accomplished, where, that is, which product or market will focus. Now, we will discuss about the nature of strategy. Strategy is a contingent plan as it designed to meet the demands of difficult situation. ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಬಂದಂಥ ಕಷ್ಟದ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಯೋಜನೆಯನ್ನು ರೂಪಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಅಂದರೆ ಯೋಜನೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ನಮ್ಮ ತಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಎಣಿತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ will be deployed for achieving organizational goals in the face of environmental pressure and constraint. And the strategy relates an organization to its external environment. ಅಂದರೆ ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಗೆ ಒಳಗೊಂಡಂತೆ ನಾವು ತಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ರೂಪಿಸಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. And strategic decisions are primarily concerned with expected trends in the market, changes in the government policies, technological developments, etc. Now we shall move with the strategic management process. The strategic management process by which top management determines the long-term direction of the organization by ensuring the careful formulation, implementation, and continuous evaluation of strategy take place. Means the strategic process can be broken into 3 phases. One is strategy formulation, strategy implementation, strategy formulation involves defining the organization's guiding philosophy and purpose or mission, establishing long term objectives in order to achieve the mission, and selecting the strategy to achieve the objectives. Strategy formulation involves establishing short range objectives, budgets, and functional strategy to achieve the strategy. Strategy control involves establishing standards of performance, monitoring progress in executing the strategy, initiating corrective action to ensure commitment to the implementation of strategy. Now we shall move with the defining an organization purpose or mission. The mission defines the fundamental reason for the organization's existence. It provides framework for decision making that gives direction for the entire organization, and it is an overall goal of the organization that provides a sense of direction and a guide to decision making for all levels of management. ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿಕ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟಿನ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಅಥವಾ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಲ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಟಾಪ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್, ಮಿಡಲ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲೋಯರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾದ ಉದ್ದೇಶವನ್ನು ಈಡೇರಿಸುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಬಹುದಾದಂಥ ನಿರ್ಧಾರಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ನಿರ್ದೇಶನಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ದ ಮಿಷನ್ describes the organization line of business, its products, and specifies the markets it serves within a frame of 3 to 5 years. The mission defines the boundaries of domain within which the organization will operate, and the boundaries may be described as industries or types of industry. The mission should not prevent change but provides direction for seeking new opportunities. Mission should be broad enough to allow exploitation of new opportunities but specific enough to provide direction. A mission should be achievable in writing and should have a time frame for achievement. Mission statements should include the following components. 1. Targets, customers and markets, principal products, geographic domain, core technologies used, concern for survival, growth, profitability, organizational cell concept, public image, organization guiding philosophy. And secondly, we establishing organizational objectives. An objective is a statement what is to be achievable, measurable, and stand with specific time frames. They can be classified as either short range, medium, or long range. They may also be corporate, business unit, or functional or departmental objectives. The organizational objectives may be in the following areas: profitability, service to customers, employee well-being and welfare, and finally the social responsibility. In formulating the strategy, suppose your organization is have a large activities, so that large activities can be segmented as a business units, that is normally referred as an SBU, strategic business units. An organizational SBUs often has the following characteristics. SBUs has its own set of customers. It should have clear set of competitors which it is trying to surpass. It should have its own strategic planning manager responsible for its success. Its performance must be measurable in terms of profit or losses, that it must be a true profit centers. ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು, ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದಾಗ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದಾಗ ನಾವು ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಸೆಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೈಫರ್ಕೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ KBCs, SBUs ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್. KBC ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್. ಇದು ಯಾವುಗಳನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ KBC TV, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ KBC ಕನ್ನಡ, KBC ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್, ಮತ್ತು ಮೆಟ್ರೋ FM, ಮೆಟ್ರೋ TV. ಅಂದರೆ 3 ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕವಾಗಿ ನೋಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಬಿಸಿನೆಸ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ನ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇತ್ತು. ಮತ್ತು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸ್ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇವೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು. ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ, ಹಾರ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ, ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸಿವ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಅಂತ ವಿಭಾಗವನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಅಂಡರ್ ಎ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ we have discussed with the concentration strategy. It is the strategy where the firms directs its resources to the profitable growth of a single product in single market. The firm thoroughly develops its expertise in a limited area and grows by building its competencies and achieves a competitive edge. Actions available to company include the following: ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಚಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್, ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ ನ್ಯೂ ಸೈಜನ್ನು, ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ಸನ್ನು, ಟೇಸ್ಟನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಕಲರನ್ನು ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ತಂತ್ರಜ್ಞಾನ ಎಳೀತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇಂಟು ನ್ಯೂ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿಕ್ ಏರಿಯಾ, ಹೊಸ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಯ ಪ್ರದೇಶವನ್ನು ಗುರುತು ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಎಂಕರೇಜಿಂಗ್ ನಾನ್ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಯಾರು ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಅವರನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ಅವ್ರನ್ನೇ ಎನ್ಕರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಎನ್ಕರೇಜಿಂಗ್ ಮೋರ್ ಯೂಸೇಜ್, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಪೆನಿಟ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಪ್ರೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ, ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಷಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸಿಂಗ್. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ 3 ಅಪ್ರೋಚಸ್ ಟು ಪರ್ಸ್ಯೂ ಎ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಬೆಲೆಯ ತಂತ್ರಗಾರಿಕೆ, ವಸ್ತುಗಳ ವಿಭಿನ್ನತೆಯ ತಂತ್ರಗಾರಿಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಜಾಹೀರಾತಿನ ತಂತ್ರಗಾರಿಕೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟರ್ಸ್ನ ಸ್ಥಾನವನ್ನು ಮುನ್ನುಗ್ಗಿ ಪಡಿತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಈ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ. ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ಹಾರಿಜಾಂಟಲ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮೂಲಕ ನಾವು ತಂತ್ರಗಾರಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾಗಿದೆ. ಇನ್ ದ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್, this involves marketing present products to customers in related market segments by adding on channels of distribution. This is achieved through the following: opening additional geographic markets through regional or international expansion, attracting other market segments by developing products versions that appeal to other segments, or by entering other channels of distribution. Further, product development. This involves the modification of existing products or the creation of new but related products that can be marketed to current customers. Such a strategy is adopted to prolong the life cycle of current products. The firm achieves this through developing additional models and sizes or changing the products, that is color, shape, taste, etc. And another one is horizontal integration. This involves growth through the acquisition of one or more firms producing a similar product. ಅಂದರೆ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಅಕ್ವಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಈ ಒಂದು ಹಾರಿಜಾಂಟಲ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಡುತ್ತದೆ. ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಈಸ್ ಏಮ್ಡ್ ಅಟ್ ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್, ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರತಿಸ್ಪರ್ಧಿಗಳನ್ನು ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಅಕ್ವೈರಿಂಗ್ ಫರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಟು ನ್ಯೂ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅನದರ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ವರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್. It is where a firm acquires another firm that supplies it with inputs, ಅಂದರೆ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲನ್ನು ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ಆರ್ ಒನ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್, ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ಮೇಜರ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, EIBL ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ acquired Central Glass Industries in case of ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ವರ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ EIBL ಕಂಪನಿ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸನ್ನು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ತನ್ನ ವಶಕ್ಕೆ ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಅದು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ವರ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. ಮುಂದುವರೆದು ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮೂವ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಓವರ್ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಚಾನಲ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಉತ್ಪನ್ನಗಳ ಮತ್ತು ಸೇವೆಗಳನ್ನು ಆ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅದರ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಮಾರಾಟ ನಿರ್ವಹಣಾ ಹಂತಗಳನ್ನು ತನ್ನ ವಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಇನ್ನು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿಯ ಮುಂದಿನ ಹಂತ ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆನ್ ಆನ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಮೂವ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ that are clearly different from its current business to spread risk so that the organization is not subject to the whims of just one product or industry. Diversification can either be concentric or conglomerate or multinational. ಅಂದರೆ ವೈವಿಧ್ಯೀಕರಣದ ತಂತ್ರಗಾರಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ರೂಪಿಸುವುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟಿಕ್ ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾಂಗ್ಲೊಮರೇಟ್ ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಎರಡು ವಿಭಾಗಗಳನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಎ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟಿಕ್ ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಸ್ ದ ಅಕ್ವಿಸಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸಸ್ ದಟ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಅಕ್ವೈರಿಂಗ್ ಫರ್ಮ್ ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ, ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ವೇ ದ ಫರ್ಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ expertise in a related area and diversify risk. Conglomerate diversification, where a large firm acquires a business because it represents the most promising investment opportunity and not because of similarity or synergy. Growth strategy are achieved through acquisition, merger, or joint venture. An acquisition occurs when one company purchases the assets of another and absorbs them into its own operation. A merger occurs when two or more companies combined into one, neither partly acquire the other, but both companies merge together, combining operation to form a new entity. A joint venture occurs when two or more organizations pool their resources for a given project. The two or more firms lack a necessary component for success in a particular competitive environment, and pooling resources together, they may be capable of doing something they could not be separately and are able to share risk and profits in. ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿಯ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ತಂತ್ರಗಾರಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ ಹಾರ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸನ್ನು ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾರ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇವೆಂಚುಲಿ ರೀಚ್ ಎ ಡಿಕ್ಲೈನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಕೆಳ ಹಂತಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗುವಂಥ ಸಂದಿಗ್ಧತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ದಿಸ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಹೊಸ ತಂತ್ರಗಾರಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಎಣಿಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಉದ್ದೇಶಕ್ಕಾಗಿ. ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್, ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಆಯ್ಕೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ತಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಎಣಿಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಹೊಸ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿಯ ತಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಎಣಿಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಇದು ಹಾರ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಕೃಷಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಉದ್ದೇಶವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ವೆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಎ ಫರ್ಮ್ ಹಾರ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಸ್ as much as it can from the product, that is milking the cow dry. The approach is to limit additional investment and expenses to maximize short-term profits and cash flow. Such strategy should be considered under the following condition. The product is in the declining stage and the current market share of the product is small. The firm has other better uses for its resources. The product is not a major contributor of sales or profitability of the firm. Corporate strategy ಮುಂದಿನ ಹಂತ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸಿವ್ ಆರ್ ಟರ್ನ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸ್. These are used when the company need to reduce its operation, to reverse a negative trend, or to overcome a crisis or problem. The firm may be having financial problem or forecasts or times ahead in terms of new competitors. entering the market, new product, or changes in government regulation. The strategy includes retrenchment, divestment, liquidation, and bankruptcy. Retrenchment ಅಂದರೆ ವಜಾ ಮಾಡುವುದು, ಡೈವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಂಡವಾಳ ಹಿಂತೆಗೆಯುವುದು, ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡೇಷನ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅಂತರವನ್ನು ಕಾಪಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದು, ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ರಪ್ಸಿ ಅಂದರೆ ದಿವಾಳಿ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. Retrenchment means a firm can find itself with declining profits because of recessions, production inefficiencies, or innovative breakthroughs by the competitors. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರತಿಸ್ಪರ್ಧಿಯಿಂದ ಆದಂಥ ತೊಂದರೆಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ರಿಸೆಷನ್ಸಿಂದ ಆದಂಥ ತೊಂದರೆಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಎಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿಯಿಂದ ಆದಂಥ ತೊಂದರೆಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೋವೇಟಿವಿಂದ ಆದಂಥ ತೊಂದರೆಗಳಿಂದ ನಾವು ರಿಟ್ರೆಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. Such a firm can survive if it forfeits its distinctive competencies. This is often achieved in two ways. One is cost reduction and another is asset reduction. Cost reduction ಅನ್ನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಲೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್, leasing rather than purchasing new heavy equipments, eliminating elaborate promotional activities, and dropping unprofitable items from the product line. Asset reduction ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೇಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ equipment not essential to the basic activity of the firm. Divestment ಅಂದರೆ ಬಂಡವಾಳವನ್ನು ಹಿಂತೆಗೆಯುವುದು. Is the scale up firm or major component of the firm because the company has financial needs where its cash flow can be greatly improved if business with high market value or sacrificed, or because of government action when a firm is pursued to monopolize or unfairly dominate a particular industry. ಮತ್ತೆ liquidation, it is where the firm is sold in parts of its tangible assets value. As a strategy, it minimizes the losses of all the firm's shareholders. The proceeds of the sale are then distributed to creditors, the remainder of which can be distributed to shareholders. ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ bankruptcy. A company can go to the court to ask for ರೆಕಗ್ನೇಷನ್. ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ರಪ್ಸಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದು, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ದಿವಾಳಿಯಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಇಟ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಯೂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಟು ಟೆಂಪರರ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರೀಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಕ್ಲೈಮ್ ವೈಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಟು ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ದ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಪುನಃ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಬರೋವರೆಗೂ ತನ್ನ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ ಸಾಲಗಾರರಿಗೆ ತಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಸ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಫ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಡದೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿನ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ತಡೆಯನ್ನು ತರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ದ ಕಂಪನಿ ಮೇ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಡೌನ್ ಅನ್ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟಬಲ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ಸ್, reduce its workforce, or negotiate employee contracts to affordable salary level. Last strategy is combination strategy. Under the combination strategy, we have discussed with joint ventures, strategic alliances, and consortia. Joint venture, this is where two or more firms lack a necessary component for success in a particular competitive environment and decide to enter a cooperative arrangements where they contribute in providing the resources required for business. And combination strategy is strategic alliances. There are partnerships that exist for a definite period during which partners contribute their skills and expertise to a cooperative project. One partner may contribute manufacturing expertise while the other provides marketing skills. Often such alliances are undertaken because partners want to learn from one another with the intention of building own capabilities to replace the partner when the contractual agreement between them ends. Next one is consortia. These are large interlocking relationship between the businesses of an industry firms in one industry. For example, paramedical or electronic may gang together to fund a research program. It often results in cost sharing and increases economies of scale for the companies involved. Now, the important part of this formulation technique. Under this technique, the BCG matrix The growth share matrix postulates that all organizations are composed of more than one business. These businesses are called strategic business units (SBUs). Already we are discussed in the uh, previous previously. So the approach proposes that separate strategy be developed for each of these independent business. The BCG approach is a classification of companies' businesses based on two variables. One is business relative market share in its industry and the annual market growth of the industry in which the business operates. The following steps are followed in using the growth share matrix in strategy evaluation and selection. Divide the company into business units, SBUs, small business units, and determine the market growth rate for each business unit and determine the relative market share of each business units. Develop a geographical picture of company's overall portfolio of business. The business BCG matrix have four cells. One is question marks, first cell, second cell is stars, third cell is dogs, fourth cell is cash cows. In the first cell, the businesses have low market share and high market growth. So the businesses don't know what to do with opportunities, decide whether to increase or investment. This is the first cell, the question mark cell. And the second one is stars. The businesses have high market share and high market growth. Means the businesses should doing well and great and have great opportunity. The dogs, that third cell, here the low market share and low market growth is there. Means weak in market, difficult to make profit. The fourth cell, cash cows. Here high market share and low market growth, doing well in growth market and well in opportunities. Now we shall discuss one by one. Question mark. Are businesses that operates in high growth market but have low relative market share. They require a lot of cash because the company has to spend to keep with the fast growing market because if wants to keep up with or overtake the market leader. Such a business is described as a question mark because the company has to think hard about whether to continue putting money into this business. The second one is stars are the market leaders in a high growth market. A star does not necessarily produce positive cash flow because the company must spend the keep up with the high market growth and to fight off the competitors' attacks. They are stars because they are promising future cash. And third one is cash cows. They are businesses operating in market with falling market growth rate, have largest relative market share and produced a lot of cash for the company. The firm does not have to finance expansion because the market growth rate has slowed down. Due to the large market share, the business enjoys the economies of scale and higher profit margin. The company uses cash flows from the cash cows to support other business. And the last one is dogs. These are businesses with weak market share in low growth markets. The company should consider harvesting these businesses or holding them in the hope that condition may improve. For example, a turnaround in market growth rate, relative market share and market growth rate are important parameter that influences strategy. RMS means relative market share determines the rate at which the business generates cash. That is, a business with high market share should have high profit margin and cash flow. After portfolio analysis, a firm should decide whether its portfolio is healthy or not. Unbalanced portfolio would be one having too many dogs and question marks and too few cash cows and stars. The company should decide whether to build or hold, harvest or divest its small business units. Suppose if you build appropriate for question marks whose market share must grow if they are to become stars and stars if they are to become cash cows. Suppose if we are old, it is appropriate for cash cows if they are to continue yielding large cash. If you are harvest, it is a strategy to increase short-term cash flow regardless of long-term effect. It involves milking the business dry and entails eliminating unnecessary R&D expenditures, not replacing worn-out equipments, reducing advertisement expenditure, reducing the sales force, etc. The strategy is appropriate for weak cash cows, dogs, and question marks. A final divestment so refers to liquidate or selling weak businesses and is appropriate for dogs and question marks. Another model is G model matrix, also called as the planning grid. The planning grid was developed by General Electric Company. It plots each business unit on a 9-cell grid. The horizontal axis is a qualitative analysis of the business unit's strengths, while the vertical axis is qualitative analysis of the industry attractiveness. Under qualitative analysis of business unit strength and qualitative analysis of industry attractiveness. It is based on the fact that a firm is successful insofar it enters attractive markets and possesses the business strength to succeed in those markets. Market attractiveness is rated as high, medium, or low, and business strength is rated as being strong, medium, and weak. In this chart, the three zones in upper left corner 1, 2, and 4 indicates strong SBUs in which to from should invest heavily and pursue growth strategy. The diagnosal cells means yellow colored boxes, yellow colored cells means 3, 5, 7 indicates SBUs that are medium in attractiveness. The red cells means 6, 8, 9 indicates SBUs that all low in attractiveness which the company divest or turn around should liquidation. That means pursue defensive strategy. And another model is GE multi-factor business portfolio matrix. Under this matrix, we have considered two. One is market industry attractiveness and another one is business strength. Market industry attractiveness is judged on a number of factors, that is market size, market growth rate, competitive intensity, industry profitability. In business strength might be determined by such factors as company's core competencies and capabilities, financially solid position, it is good bargaining position over suppliers, and its high level of technologies used. In the GE multi-factor chart, the green zones indicate the firm invest heavily and pursue growth strategy. The yellow zones indicates the firm mode selective investment. The red zone indicates the company should harvest or the company pursue defensive strategy like divestment. Thank you. Thank you once again.